In terms of your overall season, Neil, is tomorrow night the point of no return?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you can say that. I mean, I thought we had to beat Burnley and Brighton, really, if I'm honest. So we're already one down. So it becomes even more important. You know, I think for both teams, really. I think they must feel the same.
Second half performance at Burnley was markedly different to your first half performance. Do you think you can bring that energy from the kick-off tomorrow?
You don't know. You hope so. You know, you hope so. I just felt we were a little bit apprehensive. I thought the occasion, really, and the occasion tomorrow's going to be even bigger, isn't it? So I honestly don't know. But you know, you've got to be optimistic. We've had that many kicks in the teeth in the last 4 months. We keep bouncing back, really, and I think we've just got to look at the golf and look at what he's done. Tiger, you know, an amazing. Nobody give him a chance either. So it's great. I think it's an opportunity for us to give ourselves a chance to the end of the season. You know, and we've got to grasp that, really.
Did you find that inspiring last night? Watching that golf?
Very much so, yeah.
Comebacks can be achieved?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing story, really. He's been written off that many times, hasn't he? But that determination and we have, you know, we obviously over the last few weeks have felt sorry for ourselves a few times, and we haven't got time to do that now. Tomorrow we've got to give it our best shot, and if it's not good enough, you know, we accept it then.
So what's been the message to the players since Saturday? Have you been able to...
Just not really. I think we thought we played quite well, and on another day we might have got a good result, but it wasn't to be. So we have to keep trying to be as positive as we can, and look to get the right result in the next game.
What have you made of Brighton this season, and particularly how much attention have you paid to that performance against Burnley?
Oh no, I don't think you can. I mean, if anything, that's probably made it harder for us. You know, because Chris knows you know, there'll be a response from the players. They'll have been hurting after that performance. So it's you know, he'll have had a bad night, but not as bad a night as me, I'm sure, because we're 5 points behind him.
Are you surprised at the way they've struggled the last few weeks?
Well, I don't know. You don't know. At clubs at this level, you can lose 4 or 5 on the trot in the bottom half at any time. Really, it's a tough league. But you know, Chris is like Sean Dyche. Really, they've seen it all and done it all before, and you know, they'll be quite optimistic that they can, you know, save themselves against us. Quite rightly so, really.
If you did win and the gap becomes 2 points, do you think Brighton may start to wobble a bit more?
I just think it's down to us, really. I mean, they know how important it is, and so do we. You know, it's the crowd will be up for it. It'll be, you know, obviously we'll be taking, I would imagine, our full allocation, and it'll be a good atmosphere. I've always liked going down there and playing. So I scored my best goal at Brighton as a player, by the way. I just thought I'd mention that to you, Rob. From the halfway line, dribble in and out and put it past the keeper. Can you mention that, Rob?
Who was that for?
For Rotherham against Brighton. Yeah.
Did you win?
No. But
They've knocked that stadium down.
But it was, yeah, they've knocked that. I know they have, but you don't have to mention that. Yeah. So it's you know, it is a nice place, nice part of the country. I've got a lot of time for Chris and Paul Trollope, who's with him, who's a lovely lad who was here as well. So it's a good club, well-run club. We have to look at Brighton and Burnley, and we, you know, no disrespect to those clubs, we're as big, if not bigger than those, potentially. But we have to do what they've done now. We have to survive for a few years and you know, look to build the club up all the way through. And you know, I think that's the objective over the next few years, I'm sure, by the hierarchy here.
You found Chris Wood a handful on Saturday. Do you worry that Glenn Murray could be a similar handful to him?
Well, Glenn's just a good player, good pro. You know, when I went to Palace, my biggest mistake was letting him go. I think it was to Brighton on loan. He was pleading with me because he wouldn't get in a game before I went, and of course I never saw enough of him, me. But I didn't realise what such a good pro he is and how he holds the ball up, gets his free kicks, and you know, he's just a credit really, and they're very lucky to have him. And it'll be a good battle. I thought I think our lads will be looking forward to coming up against him.
And in terms of your strikers, Neil, have you got a big decision to make between Zohor and Nias?
I think it's good to give an option. I thought Ken deserved an opportunity. You know, he's trained well, and with 2 games in 4 days, I wanted to just freshen that up a little bit. But there's 1 or 2 others pushing to start as well, really. So it's a good food for thought over the next 24 hours, really.
At the risk of drawing into any difficulty with referees, have you looked back at any more of the footage from Saturday and reached any different conclusions?
No, the lads that were talking, obviously the lads are bound to talk about it, aren't they? The Gunnarsson, they were adamant it was a penalty. You know, we have different angles to what some of the programmes had on the TV, are you with me? And on the different angles, I think it's a concrete penalty. But Neil Etheridge was concerned about Barnes stopped him from actually seeing the ball. He's on him in front of him, and for me, if that's not interfering with play, I think there's something wrong with the laws, really. He said he just could not get a view of the ball because of his presence. To me, that's got to be interfering, but nobody even mentioned that at the weekend. So we're disappointed on a few things, but hey ho, it's normal at the minute, non-practice at the minute.
You talked about the difference sometimes that seems to be there with referees between the bigger clubs and the smaller clubs. Do you think it may be not so much a bias, but a referee sees Aguero go down, sees Hazard go down, thinks these guys are so good, they must have been stopped illegally. Aaron Gunnarsson goes down, you haven't scored many goals this season. They think
he doesn't go down very good, does he? He went down like a pensioner, didn't he, really? I mean, that's, you know, it is... I mean, the players you've mentioned are unbelievable. I can't tell whether they can't caught at times. I mean, what people forget is when I've commented on that about the smaller teams, I'm talking about VAR. It will help the smaller teams. And that's not saying the referee's biased or anything. It's saying that when a team has 75% of the possession, they usually get more decisions against them than the team that has 25%. So it will be good to clarify that some of those decisions will be reviewed and then overturned. You know, that's why I think it'll be beneficial to the smaller clubs.
You due a break? Due a change in luck?
Holiday, you mean? Yeah.
Do you think that change in luck may come now over the next 4 or 5 months?
I honestly don't know. I mean, where we are at the moment, you can't see that. I'm afraid I think we have to make our own luck, really. We have to do everything ourselves, which we have basically for the last 18 months, really. So I'm not expecting any luck. I just think we've got to try and make our own and get the result off our own back, really.
You sound a little resigned to your fate.
Well, I think when you look at the league table, you can't be bubbly, can you? But it's not about Brighton. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Brighton game because the sooner it comes, the better. You know, I'll be glad when we come out to Old Trafford, if I'm honest, and I can go and have a holiday.
But the message to supporters is that there's still fight.
Absolutely, they've been through it all. I think they've been the sort of the massive plus for us, and the fact how they, you know, even Saturday, you know, they clapped all the lads off. I thought they were amazing on Saturday. And you know, they've been hurt as well by things that are going against us. You know, so it's been a very disappointing time for us regarding that. But through it all, I think they've been amazing. I think they've stood by us, and I'm sure they'll be vocal tomorrow night. I like the Brighton. I think the Brighton crowd are good as well. I've always, you know, when I'm stood there at the new stadium, it's always a real. I'm trying to think who it was, Poyet, I think it was, who was the manager last time I was down there. You know, real good atmosphere. So, you know, it's a nice stadium.
And just to go back to that point, that if you did win, you look at Brighton's running, you look at your running. If there's only 2 points between you, how do you see the respective matches panning out? I
just think we've just got to play each game. I mean, there'll be some games that we're, you know, completely written off. I don't think we'll be written off in those games. You know, I mean, we can decide the Premiership and we can decide who goes into the top 4 with the games we've got coming. So I think it's a great challenge for us.
If you didn't win, but you get a point, are you still alive?
Oh, we're still alive, yeah. I mean, but I think you've got to. We've tried to set out a stall to win the games. The last few games, even going back to Chelsea, we worked 3 weeks on that. So I can't fault the lads in that respect. We've worked really hard to win games, but we've not been able to. So we've got to try again and bounce back again.